Yo, 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 what's going on? It's the NRW. We're nerds, rule the world. It's your boy, Kuyapi, aka Patrick Michael Strange. And I'm back with the homies to do another review for Marvel's amazing What If series on Disney Plus. Please welcome, first up, the cat that levels us up, the blur dad himself, Mr. Glenn Lawrence. What's up, Glenn?
What's going on? How we doing? I'm so excited to get into this.
Let's do it. And of course, my man who's so cool, the show that says you're so cool with this guy, Rob Medina. What's up, Rob?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you very much for bringing me back on this here. I am really excited to get into this review here because Glenn seems to be in a really good mood with this episode. You, on the other hand, I'm a little shocked, to be completely honest here. So I'm curious.
Because I enjoyed the first two, and yeah, we did have a little bit of convo about this.
Yeah.
What if we reverse roles and now I'm the one who likes it, and you guys?
It's a multiverse situation going on here.
I like that. Yeah. So before we get into it, this variant that you see right here is going to throw to the trailer. And then we'll get into what's going down with What If. So here we go, the trailer for What If Episode 3.
That's the moment.
I am Loki.
That created a whole new hero. Well, that's weird. Reality is not a straight line.
Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
Every passing moment is a chance for a new offshoot, a new variation. Space, time, reality. What if we could rebuild it?
Oh, I'm counting on it.
Journey to face the unknown and ponder the question, what if?
Boom! There you go. The trailer for What If Episode 3. We're going to break down the story as well as the characters and then give you our review. So let me throw it off to Mr. Glenn Lawrence, the blur dad himself. Break it down with the story. Glenn Lawrence.
Well, this is the episode that asks the question, what if Earth lost its mightiest heroes? And it starts off and it's following the story. It picks up right at that junction point where Nick Fury is trying to recruit for the Avengers team. He goes to see Iron Man. All of it's the same. He's sitting up in the donut, eating the donut. He's told to come down, which he promptly does. He's nursing a hangover, and he's sitting in the diner. And then all of a sudden, kapow! It's a little bit different than what we've seen before. Of course, this is going to be a little bit spoiler because we got to go through it and talk about it. And Black Widow basically shoots Tony up with the sodium pentothal, but this time instead of curing him, it actually kills him. And then all of a sudden, Black Widow's on trial. So it's taking out two of the Avengers right there, and it just goes off the wall from there. Every time Nick Fury is looking to recruit another Avenger, they're taken out. Thor is taken out with an arrow from Hawkeye. And Hawkeye says, I didn't shoot the arrow. I don't have no idea how the arrow, came from my sling without happening. So he gets taken and arrested too. He ends up dead as well. It's all over the place. It's amazing. I love this What If because it really, really kind of gets into the nitty gritty of like, wow, what happens if we did lose these people? And it's a real whodunit. It's like, wow, how is this happening? And the kicker is when the Hulk is one of the heroes that gets taken out, and we're like, wow, that is incredible. So the story kind of flows in that fashion all the way up and until Black Widow kind of figures out what's going on to some degree, and then she's taken out. At what point Nick Fury has to put his head together to figure things out, which he does, and he comes up with a very interesting solution to do that. He enlists somebody that you would not expect. The God of Mischief himself comes in, and he's able to solve the mystery of who's taking out Earth's mightiest heroes. And should I give away who is taking out Earth's mightiest heroes? Because
Yeah, because the episode already aired. So
Yeah, the episode already aired. You should have already seen it. So it was Hank Pym. He was shrinking down and he's taking out the heroes. He's upset because Hope Van Dyne has been killed, and it was Nick Fury's fault. So he's trying to take out his Avengers team. Nick Fury enlists the help of Loki, of all people, to help him take out Hank Pym, which he does in hilarious fashion using the good old Loki tricks. And then Loki, of course, uses this opportunity to take over Earth by coming to the United Nations and doing it diplomatically instead of bringing in a whole alien army. Well, he actually brings the alien army because he brings the Frost Giants as well as all of Asgard to take things over. The episode was great, man. This was the first time that I was like, I like this. The first episode, I wasn't as much of a fan of. Some people said they liked it. I thought there was a little bit too much. It's too much. It's too much. They wanted you to believe that all of a sudden Captain or Steve Rogers, who's a nobody at this point, they give him an Iron Man suit. Like, for what? Why? Like, at least give. Anyway, we're not going to go over that. We'll stick to this. Episode 2 was a little bit interesting, but I was like, T'Challa has that much pull all over the galaxy. But I was digging it a little bit more. This is the first time when I was like, ooh, this is a very interesting what if, because I could totally see it all happening. I could totally see it all play out. And it felt very much like it was contained within the world of the question, what if Earth lost its mightiest hero? So I really enjoyed this episode. It was dope for me for all those reasons. Sorry for the spoilers. I think, though, that this was the best one so far, and I'm excited to see what they do next on what if it's getting this good. If they're progressively getting this good, I think by the end of it, I'm going to be all on board, and I might even take a look back at episode 1 and give it a little bit of a bump in terms of my review or outlook on the show. What did you guys think of the characters and how it played out, Rob?
Well, so as far as the characters are concerned, I mean, you kind of covered a good portion of it, but we also get some other unexpected. Well, yeah, I guess you could say unexpected characters, because we see Clint Barton, Hawkeye, make an appearance in the show as well too, who gets as you put it, Glenn, murked, and he's still being voiced by Jeremy Renner. Brock Rumlow is in the episode too for like a split second, right. But he's in it. Which I was surprised. I didn't expect that at all, to be completely frank with you. And then Phil Coulson is back on there as well too. You already mentioned Tony Stark, Black Widow, Hank Pym, Nick Fury's in there. Obviously, you mentioned Loki, Bruce Banner, Thaddeus Ross, who is, I believe, Betty Ross's father, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't remember General. Okay, so yeah, he's the father. And then we also get Sif, who's in there as well too. I can't remember to what capacity she's in. I vaguely remember her character off the top of my head here for some reason. And then we also get a surprise little cameo, if you will, by none other than Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. So I agree with you. I think this was the best one, because I thought the T'Challa episode with him being Star-Lord was like the best one, and then I saw this one. I was like, holy shit, they really are like going all out with this one. And I think this is the one that really kind of set the tone of what to be expecting moving forward, because I think from here, I hope it's going to get bigger, crazier, better. So my expectations were somewhat kind of like in the middle as far as my anticipation for the show. But upon watching it, episode 1, 2, and 3, it just got better and better. And I'm hoping that's going to be the theme for the remaining episodes here. So yeah, man, I thought this was amazing. Little nice twists here and there that we get with these characters that are committing these little acts here and there. But yeah, I mean, I know KP was telling us previously that he was not feeling it, so I'm a little curious now to see why you weren't feeling it.
Ooh, yeah, what's going on?
I had to change up. This is the variant Shang-Chi version of Kuya-P.
I'm feeling that, by the way.
Thank you. Had to, bring this back. I don't know. I it made me fall asleep. It did. This I couldn't. I don't know. There's something with it. I think one of the connective tissues, what made me not connect with it in regards to connective tissues of why I didn't feel this was all the characters that we know and love are back and played by the people that we know and love that play these roles, but now we're just voicing them. with the exception
Most
of
them, not all of them.
with the exception of Carol Danvers, who was played by Brie Larson, is now being voiced by Alexandra Daniels in this. But the most significant one, and it leads off with this character, is Natasha Romanoff, who we all know as Scarlett Johansson, but was voice acted by Lake Bell. And that kind of threw me off. I was like, who is this? Is this a different Black Widow? Because there's been different Black Widows. If you're a Marvel stan like me, and you know from watching the Black Widow film, we have the new Black Widow played by Paige.
Florence Pugh,
who played Paige in the film about Paige the wrestler. That's why I know her like that. But Florence Pugh, yes, thank you, Rob, for that save. But there's been many Black Widows.
So I'm here.
So I'm curious that exactly, Rob. I love those little that's why I'm here, brother. I'm curious that Lake Bell is in this role right now, and I'm curious if this was a quick rush change, because if you're a Marvel stan and you know what's going on right now, Scarlett Johansson, as of this date of this recording, is getting ready to sue Disney, and is very upset with Disney because of what happened with the rollout with Black Widow. Apparently, the terms of the contract didn't match with what was expected. They had a theatrical release. Well, it was precedent on a theatrical release because these actors have these things set in their contracts for the amount of money that they make off of the films. We are how much they're going to get home release, theater sales. So the actor point of me understands that, get your money. If you're meant to get a certain amount of money because of this and the third, get your money. But then the fan in me, I understand Disney's decision to make it some theatrical and also home release, because we're living in a weird situation that the world has never experienced. We're in a pandemic. They want to make it available for fans to see it, which has me scared for Shang-Chi right now, to be honest with you. Shang-Chi is going to an only theatrical release with no home release yet. And I want people to see this film because to me, Shang-Chi is fucking amazing. So with that all being said, I'm curious if at the 8th hour that they brought in Lake Bell to re-record these scenes and do Natasha Romanoff's voice. And that's what threw me off. I was expecting a Scarlett Johansson voice. I got Lake Bell. Not anything wrong with Lake Bell. I love Lake Bell. She's an actor of mine that I really enjoy her work in, but it just kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting that voice. And then just again, the overall tone of the story. I liked what they did with episodes 1 and 2, unlike Glenn. So this one, I don't mind it. It was okay. I mentioned to both of these gentlemen that I need to see it again when I'm a little bit more wide awake and not watching it late at night, which is what I was doing when we watched these. So I will give it that opportunity. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say, it was terrible, but I need to see it again. Because again, I fell asleep during it, so I didn't exactly finish it. And I can't exactly give an honest review if I fell asleep. You know what I'm saying?
You're literally sleeping on it.
Literally. So I think my points on this are invalid because how can I give it a good, accurate review if I fell asleep on it?
Yeah.
So
true.
there you go.
Here right now is what
there you go.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I feel like you're kind of in the same boat. I was upon watching it again, I feel like you'll like it more. Upon watching What If Part 1 again, I think I liked it a little bit more than I gave it credit for it to begin with. Because to begin with, I was not feeling it. I watched it again. I was like, I'm around. The second one I actually enjoyed more watching by a great deal. So
the next go around.
Yeah. So okay. I think we'll be in reverse, and then by the end we'll be all kumbaya saying,
right? So I'll watch episode 3 again when we do 4, so I can let you know what I think on during the 4 review.
Because I came around on episode 1. I stopped being as harsh on it.
But I got a question though in regards to my commentary about Lake Bell taking over for Scarlett. Do y'all feel any different with Lake Bell's performance? And do you think that possibly is due to because of what's happening with Scarlett and Disney?
It's hard to say, man. Without really knowing all the details, I would imagine that this whole lawsuit thing came about fairly early on, shortly after the release of the movie, and this episode was already in line to come out, after that. So it's probably one of those things is that it was already planned out beforehand. Right. I know it's possible to quickly change up the voices rather quickly as opposed to actual performances. So it's not it's not the possibility of that being the case, but I would imagine that because scheduling issues or contracting issues or contracting negotiations. Hey, we're in the middle of this here. We can't get you to sign. We can't get you to voice here now because you're in contract negotiations. So therefore, you're on standby. But we got someone else to fill in for you. So you're okay with that, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay, cool. We're moving on. We got the movie coming out next year. You're set.
Right.
It's probably one of those situations. I personally didn't really have a problem with it, to be honest with you, as far as her Lake Bell being the voice of Black Widow. I know her from her movies, what she's done, and she did a movie a while back called In a World, which, if you really want to know like how voice acting is, that's a great movie, and that movie made me a fan of her. So when she was signing up to this to do this part, I was like, oh, the role's in great hands. So I had no concerns of that. So it didn't bother me. Didn't even think twice about it, despite knowing the situation, because I was just enjoying it for the purposes of what they're doing with the show, at least in this episode. So, I mean, it's unfortunate with the whole Scarlett Johansson situation, but honestly, I don't think it didn't hinder anything with the enjoyment factor that I got from this episode because of Lake Bell taking over the voicing duties, if you will.
Rob, you stole my thunder. I was going to talk about that because I saw that movie too, In a World, and I loved it. It was great.
Oh, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Voice acting. She's one of the premier female voice actors. So of course, they were like, let's bring her in for this read. Now, in terms of the Scarlett Johansson thing, I think it's I don't think it would be as big a problem if it hadn't been for the fact that it had been so long before they had given her a solo film. Like everybody else got a solo film and she didn't get one. So that kind of also probably played into a little bit of the sting. Like her Black Widow film probably should have been out around the same time Captain America came out, around the same time Iron Man came out, because she's, one of the original Avengers putting the team together. So not having that film come out now, I think that just also kind of added a little sting. And then on top of it, of course, these are circumstances, but when you're in this position, it kind of feels like, why are the circumstances always suck for me? Like, why does it always, you know what I mean? Like against me, like I get it, pandemic, all this other stuff, but why am I always the one who gets the short end of the stick, like she did not getting the movies up front? With that said, Avengers is such a team thing. There's so many people, so many moving parts that work to make this cinematic universe good. It's a shame to see that all happen. I hope they end up working it out and it's kumbaya. I feel like the Marvel portion of it is very much like have the actors back, have the people's back. But I guess the people over at Disney had a different thought, but hopefully they'll all come together, because at the end of the day, especially in the world we are today, we want to consume media, but we also want to consume media from in a manner, or from people who are doing things the right way, and we don't like to see people being taken advantage of. So hopefully they can come to a resolution on that, so we can enjoy once again, and we don't have the sour taste left in our mouth from this. With all that being said, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought she did good. I thought she did a fine job, Lake Bell did, and I didn't even notice, to tell you the truth. It wasn't distracting. So it was well done. It was like oh wait, that's not the same voice, but there are so many other of the same, like, people doing their same voice, that I didn't notice it as much, because everybody else had their same voice. I guess that could be a little bit jarring, but I think she slid right in there, and it wasn't so distracting that I was like, wait, I don't like this. So I kind of rock with it.
All right. Yeah. So different for me, different circumstances, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm very familiar with In a World. I actually think that was one of the films I was on a voting committee for. Been a long time fan of Lake Bell. She's outstanding, but I noticed it for this What If. And so, yeah, that kind of took me out of the picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I said, why don't we interview Lake Bell? We should talk to her.
We'll see if we can make that happen in the future. You never know. But yeah, so that was it for me. Again, I can't give a good review on this because I fell asleep. So for you guys, break this down. Final review, plus for you guys, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, if we haven't noticed already, we love this episode, and
there we go.
I was really Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned in the first episode that we reviewed, I didn't have a lot of expectations. I just thought it would be okay, and maybe it would just kind of bring some exciting moments here and there for me to connect with. But every episode has gotten so much better, and the stories are much more in depth, and they're more crazier, they're more wild, and they're short and sweet, but they're really impactful. So, with this episode ending the way that it did, considering how Loki had ended too, with those open possibilities of the multiverse or whatever else. And then with Spider-Man, the trailer being released recently, and they're definitely putting that into the mix for sure. I'm curious to see how this will actually play into the Marvel universe, since Kevin Feige confirmed this is legit canon to what's going on right now. So yeah, man, I loved it. I can't wait to see what episode 4 is going to be like.
I enjoyed it very much. I almost want to slip Kuya P a no dose so he can watch it and understand how good it was. No, it was very good. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time with it. Again, it was like a who done it. And the thing was, I was very much like who is the person? Like, who did this? Like, how is it happening? How did he kill all these people? The thing is, there was a misdirect there that I wasn't ready for, and it was very, very cool. Now, by the end of it, I did suspect Loki was going to be, how Nick Fury was doing all this. So I did see that coming, but I did not see that it was going to be Hank Pym who was the culprit. And I thought it was cool how they showed it. You see all the caskets or whatever, but then you see Nick Fury always has a plan, and he has a backup team ready to go. So I thought that was really, really cool to see. I really enjoyed this, and it makes me excited for the next What If. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure my alarm clock is working, so I could be up, refreshed, and ready to watch the next What If.
There we go. All right, guys, let them know how we can get reached and have the voices of hate come to us because of how they feel about what we feel. Let them know how they can reach out to you guys. Back to you, Rob. How can they hit you up?
So you can follow me on my social media accounts on Instagram, Rob_Medina0585, on Twitter, RobMedina0585, on Facebook, Rob Medina, and also follow my show social medias account, You're So Cool with Rob Medina, on Instagram, and on Twitter, You're So Cool WRM.
All right, there we go. Glenn, what's good?
You're going to have to check me out on levelupcomedy.com, Level Up Comedy throughout your social medias, your IGs, your Twitters, your YouTubes, all that good stuff. Glenn Lawrence Laughs, Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook, IG, Twitter, and the Blurred Dad Podcast on Twitter. Check us out.
All right, if you want to follow my variant, the real Kuya P, not the Shang-Chi Kuya P, you can follow him at Trained Since 1977 or at Temple Far East. That's Twitter, that's IG. Over on TikTok, the Legend Kuya P, and of course at the Nerds of Color, where we give you pop culture from the POC perspective, as well as Show Pal Show, that Filipinx content, and of course over here at the NRW and at an Release Wednesday, where Nerds Rule the World with Glenn and Rob and Loy and Rue and Anita, the whole squad, where Nerds Rule the World. We're out of here.
Deuces.
Blah, blah, blah.
No